Yo, what's good, guys? Real reviews here. We have for this game is JC. We have Lord Shadow Ninja,
Yeah, I'll go
Lord
by
Shadow
that.
Ninja, Shadow Ninja. We're gonna talk about the Sam Raimi trilogy, the things you need to know before watching Spider-Man No Way Home. A recap of the Sam Raimi trilogy, and just give you our thoughts and opinions and whatnot. I mean, I feel like if you're gonna watch any, you gotta watch those three before you watch No Way Home. I think you could get away with not watching the Amazing Spider-Man, but I think a lot of us have seen it though. But
You're right, I guess.
I don't know. I say the first three are important. I think part one and two are the most important ones because if you don't watch those, you might be a little lost
So with that,
in No Way
let's have
Home.
some fun. Let's talk about Spider-Man 1 first. You want my first
And
thoughts?
give me your thoughts. I'll give you mine after.
It doesn't age well. I'll tell you that. Didn't age
Why
well.
is that?
I was watching. I was like, this is pretty good. And then it's just like some of the jokes you get older and you're like, wow, that was maybe a little pushing it.
We're gonna touch base.
We're
We're
not
not
gonna go
gonna
into
say the jokes,
details,
but
but we're not gonna into
if
details.
you
But
guys watch it,
Green Goblin was implying some really messed up things was gonna happen to Mary Jane, and
been canceled. Would have been canceled in
yeah,
2021.
there's no way you make that joke nowadays, but that would happen. He was good in this movie until, I mean, it's kind of weird because Green Goblin, his whole motive was getting back at the people he wanted, and then when we see him, he completes his motive, so he kind of loses the motivation for the rest of the movie. But it's William Dafoe, so he had some good
Great
moments.
actor.
But
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, I mean, like it was a good origin story, but as a kid, I loved it, and then watching it now
I loved
again,
it.
it's kind of like, but still, what are your thoughts?
I I loved it. I mean, watching it again is it's. I could actually watch it again. I could watch it right now, and I'll still feel good about it. I could watch Spider-Man 2 again, but we're gonna stay on this one. But I could watch this one again. I could keep watching it and looking at small details. I feel like Green Goblin is the scariest villain of all.
Yeah,
He's the craziest, probably the most dangerous, in my opinion. Maybe you think Doc Ock is, but to me, Green Goblin is the most dangerous villain. He's a schizo. He's crazy. I mean, it's like
till
you
you meet
told
him
me
in
through
real
the phone.
life. Till you meet him in real
So
life,
yeah,
which
hey kid.
technically I have, which I have. Fucking guy.
Yeah, which is pretty cool. No, great actor, but like I feel like he's the most dangerous. He's the one that has. I don't know how they're gonna come back into this movie. Are we gonna talk about our opinions on how they're gonna come back
We'll
into
leave
this
that.
movie,
We'll leave that
or
at the end. We'll talk about kind of
all
a
right?
recap.
So
But
all right, so
yeah, Goblin.
look, I don't know what it was. I don't know if you know what it's called. Whatever he like breathed in, that green thing. I still this day I don't know what it's called. I don't know if they mentioned it,
It was kind of
but
like a weapon, so they were trying to make super soldiers. That's what Oscorp was
but
doing.
like without injections, right? It was just like they breathe it
Yeah,
in.
yeah. It
All
was a
right,
different
so
form of like it was like the original Sony verse version of, I guess you say, super soldier serum. What they were trying to do.
okay,
So
and then that it gives you like a double personality. I guess it makes you like
well,
there's you, and then there's
it was kind of just like in this movie. It was like kind of his last out. Like everything banked on this thing for some reason, and I mean, yeah, no, Goblin was good. I think the highlight Goblin moment was, I mean, even though logically you think about it at the end with the bridge scene, he has MJ in one hand, the fucking kids on the other hand, and he's like, now
yeah.
choose. And I'm like, why didn't you drop her first or drop the kids first? Make him go for the kids and then have to somehow say Mary Jane. Because realistically, if you think, he's just gonna go for the girl and swing back around and save the kids, which he did. But
I guess what Goblin wanted to do is because he could have done that, right? He said you have to choose, but if he does that, there really is no choice. I think one is gonna die or the other. I guess he just did it at the same time. Like, okay, let's see what happens. I don't know. Speaking of that, he held the train by a cable, right?
yeah, he was strong. He had strength.
So he had that's
Yeah,
insane.
yeah. It was
That's
like,
insane.
if people
Looking
forget
now
that,
like that.
and he wasn't
That's
struggling.
extremely dangerous.
He was
Yeah,
not
that's like
struggling.
extremely. Yeah, that's like dangerous. That's like he could kill you with a punch. It's like I
We should also
I used to
mention.
hate.
We should also mention that this is the first of 3 movies that are going to be every single point Tobey Maguire is about to die, and then some outside force saves him. At least in this movie,
Okay.
it was the most logical one.
The city saved him here.
Yeah, it
The
was.
city saved
It
him here.
was. It was. I gave that a pass.
And Mary Jane got saved because coincidentally the guys driving the boat were there.
I
And they
mean,
decided to
honestly,
help out too.
besides if you think about it, the way those cards are, if you think like, it wouldn't have been bad if they just dropped, like at least from that angle. I'm pretty sure Mary Jane can swim. God knows if the kids can swim. I'm speculating, but let's say most of them know how to swim. Like, I don't think it would have been too bad. I'm getting maybe too logical into it, but
yeah.
And then
it's.
And then the final fight between Goblin and Spider-Man. That was I'm gonna say this: out of all the final fights that we're gonna be talking about, this was the best one. It wasn't the best fight, the best final fight.
Oh, the best showdown, yeah, 100%, 100%. I mean, it's we'll touch base on the next one. I'll have my theory, but in this one, Green Goblin, he never became good. You get me? Like Doc Ock, like he sacrificed himself.
He's a soul baddie. He's a bad baddie.
Yeah.
And the good thing,
Goblin just
we've seen about in some interviews in No Way Home. Goblin was a power-driven scumbag before he became evil and stuff. So seeing him kind of like weaponize and the serum kind of enhance those greedy power tendencies, I think yes, he's the sole bad guy in this movie. He's not redeemable, and even in the comics, we know this. Green Goblin's a psychopath. He's a very, very bad dude.
He's the scariest one. The shits he says, like he's like itsy bitsy spider. Like, he's like it's splat. Like he was like
yeah.
The shit he says. The
little campy, but he got it.
The voice is creepy. Everything he did. I mean, we're talking about the final fight, but even the Bernie building, he was like dressed as an old lady. Like that shit scared the crap out of me as a kid. I was like, I was scared.
That was a good sequence. That was a very good sequence. For 2001 when it came out, it was a very good sequence.
Dude, the movie's ahead of its time. It really is ahead of its time. It's the darkest Spider-Man, I think, to me. Like darkest, like people are dying. Like I know I'm sidetracking now, but he threw. What do you call his grenades? What do they call? Like
pumpkin bombs. Pumpkin bombs.
Pumpkin bombs. He threw it to like his old partners and
they disintegrated.
I was so scared. Like, I was like, yo, like this guy's that's like, come on, like, this guy's invincible. I don't know. I mean, yes, he dies, gets stabbed. He did something at the end. He acted he tried to act good, I guess, and then he just pressed the button.
Yeah,
I never noticed that he pressed the button.
He did his manipulative. He was a classic old school rich dude trying to get his way. But
there was not a meme, but at the end he was like, "Uh-oh," he did something right before he died.
He realized he got got.
Yeah,
he got played.
Yeah.
But
the Spidey senses. Senses helped it out.
My final thoughts. Wait. No, go, because it's not final thoughts. Here's.
So I guess I want to tie it into the new Spider-Man. The new Spider-Man is based on the spider senses. They call it the Peter Tingle or something.
Which I like better.
What I like about this one is that like it shows you what it looks like. Everything gets slowed down for him. It's like I find that really cool. Like how you get to see what the spider sense is.
Yeah.
And how it works, and it saved his life there.
To counter that though, I kind of feel like it takes away from his abilities. Like if you just see it fast, you're like, oh, but if you see it slow, it's like I like the element in the regular movies where it's not slow mo, it's more of just fast.
Okay. What's cool is that if someone doesn't know what the spider sense feels like, they can watch this and they'll see what Spider-Man sees, and that's exactly what it is. So overall, great film. In this one, if anyone's gonna almost kill Spider-Man, or if a Spider-Man is gonna die, it's gonna be at the hands of the Green Goblin.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, but final thoughts. Very, very good first Spider-Man movie to ever be made. It doesn't age well, but it's enjoyable. But Spider-Man 2. Let me start here. I watched this one, and even though it's an old movie, it's single-handedly still one of the greatest Marvel films ever made. I want to say ever superhero because I have my own list, which is not relevant here, but yeah, this movie has it all. It has conflict between Peter and Spider-Man, which is never seen in any of the movies.
He almost loses his powers, right?
Well, there's conflict in the main Spider-Man with Peter and Spider, but this one was the first time, and I think it's done the best in the movie so far, of like the struggle of being Spider-Man and Peter Parker. The action, like this created a format. Like I'm a firm believer in any of these movies that the main baddie and the hero need to go toe to toe at least 3 times in a movie. And that's exactly what happened. You got the bank scene, then you got the train scene, and then you got the final battle. This is like a template for all superhero movies. But Dr. Octavius, Alfred Molina, the greatest Marvel villain ever. Better than Thanos, better than Killmonger, better than Jake Gyllenhaal's fucking Mysterio.
Oh,
The best villain in
I
Marvel.
agree.
Like
100%.
he was a reluctant villain, and while I do have complaints at the end, his accent, the way he talked, he was perfect. It was perfect.
Oh yeah, perfect. It's gosh, he did great in that role, and they really made Doc Ock come to life there. I mean, it's just like in the comics, he was always like the comics and the old games. He was always scary to me, always a dangerous one. But in this film, it was like more not card. It was serious. He was serious.
Yeah,
He was.
he wasn't toning around. Even though it was a neural interface, I still think that didn't play into his motivations. Like I guess you could say that he. Well, this is not really talking about No Way Home, but I do think he does have a bad person mentality for what was lost. Like if he's kind of always been like that.
He lost everything.
He lost his wife in this movie. He lost his life's work, and his life's work was everything to him. It got taken from him twice, and I'm sure we're gonna see that implication of the final battle into No Way Home. But the one thing I didn't like in this movie was that Spider-Man doesn't shine like he should. Hold up. You might be saying, oh, we got the train scene. I feel like if there was any point for him to beat the villain, it's to beat the one he looks up to. And we've seen this in the game. He beat his mentor. In this movie, he was his mentor too. But he never beat him. He just had a realization. Nope. And that kind of irks me because like he should beat him and that should weigh something. And in this one, the final fight, I feel like it was kind of just a Dr. Ock show, but not even a Spider-Man show. He had his moments, he had his fights, but like this movie's really carried by Dr. Octopus.
Oh,
the same way the Joker in The Dark Knight carries that movie, because it ain't Batman that's compelling, it's the Joker and what he does to everybody. So yeah, so that's my only complaint. I feel like Peter was the thing, but this is a common trend you'll hear me say within these Sam Raimi movies. Toby as Spider-Man's good. He's not great. He's a great Peter Parker. But those were the most compelling parts. Seeing the struggle with his aunt, struggle with Aunt May. Those were great parts in this movie. It wasn't the Spider-Man stuff. Besides him having a couple sick scenes, especially like the start of like, swinging over. And, I always remember this. Fucking, he's like, where is she? And then Wolverina's like, let's talk. And he's just like the little this. And you're like, oh, this is great. Yeah. But, but besides that, like, that's it.
I mean, I guess what you can say with this movie, you see the more human side. You said he's a better Peter. You see the more human side of Spider-Man. You do not see that with Tom Holland or Andrew Garfield. Maybe. I mean, it's a blur.
I feel like Tom Holland. Yes, I think it's the best of both worlds, but we'll get there. Sure, in the series.
I feel like here we see the more human side. We see. I mean, dude, I never knew that Spider-Man almost lost his powers or he was losing it. I never knew that was the thing until I saw it again.
That's another thing. I don't like that. I didn't like that in Superman 2 with the old school ones. I just think it's kind of ludicrous because he's genetically altered. Like it's a permanent thing. How is he just like? Yeah. How does love take his powers away? It's one of those things like that. That's kind of it's whatever. That
was never in the comics, right?
I don't think so, but I'm sure maybe. But it doesn't make sense for what happens to him. He has like organic web shooters. It's like it just doesn't. I don't know.
I never knew that. I saw part 1 and I saw he had like some like circle things like in his wrist. I was like, what the? I was like, I never knew that. I never knew that. Now I don't know to the day how it goes through the suit. I guess there's like little holes in the suit and the web is just so like strong it just goes through. That was cool. That's something cool about this Spider-Man. That's what's cool. His web shooters are organic. Garfield and Holland aren't, right? They have like a gadget. Is that what they have?
Something like that. Something like that.
Okay, so that's what I thought was yeah. I mean, Spider-Man 2 overall. I mean, it's probably Doc Ock. It's probably one of the best top Marvel films of all time. Damn, I'm excited to see now No Way Home what's gonna happen.
And then now we gotta talk about the black sheep in the room, right? Spider-Man 3.
Dreadful one. Yeah, that was just hard to watch, man. It was hard to watch again. As a kid?
Not even as a kid. I said this before. As a kid, that was the worst I'm watching. I got out the movie theater and I'm like, this was awful. But yeah, Spider-Man 3, the closing bit of this trilogy. Spider-Man 2. They made Spider-Man 2. We're gonna get to mention this a little bit. It's not a good movie at all. But it's not a good movie at all, and it has redeeming qualities. This movie has no redeeming qualities at one bit. Sandman's okay. Sandman's kind of redeemable, but Sandman just isn't like it. Don't even get me started on Venom. And don't even get me started on what's it called? What's Harry Osborn? Oh my god.
Yeah. He saved Spider-Man. He saved Spider-Man.
Yeah, after the whole awful plot line that was going on, like the butler just couldn't tell him that his dad was bad for like the last 5-6 years, however long it was. He had to wait till the third movie to say that. Fuck out of here. That shit pisses me off.
Yeah, he could have saved a lot of casualties.
Yeah, black suit Spider-Man was cool, but not redeeming at all. There was no stuff. I hated MJ in this movie. I hated Gwen Stacy in this movie. I hated Peter Parker in this movie.
Gwen Stacy in this movie was actually good looking. She was pretty bad.
Don't attack Emma Stone like that. But
she's all right, but like, it's like this Gwen Stacy is like right TV or the other one's cable.
No. You give me a pick. I'm going with the one that's not Ron Howard's daughter. Even though it's crazy to say, but
that's right.
Yeah. She's also directing now. She's directed 2 episodes of Mandalorian.
Yeah.
2 of my favorite episodes. At least one of them last season. Yeah. But
pretty cool. But,
yeah,
it was dreadful. Spider-Man 3 is dreadful. I don't know what we're gonna see. I mean, I've been seeing rumors that the Venom if we do get Venom, it's not this Venom.
Oh,
it's like a different universe.
If you see Let There Be Carnage, you're already aware that there could probably be a Venom in this movie, which I'll take money on.
Yeah.
But you want to just talk about jumping off which movie can connect where? I don't know how one's gonna connect.
Yeah.
I don't know how one's gonna connect.
Look,
there's gonna be a relationship, but I don't know how in the world that Goblin goes into that movie.
We just know about Doc Ock, kind of when he said, "Where's my machine?" or whatever.
Yeah, that there was a spot, and then he says, "Oh, where's my machine?" But, like, oh, well, there's that. But
you see, Goblin, like, what happens? Like, does he realize that? Does he know that he died? And then now it's like, yo, you're not gonna get me this time, or like
I've seen some stuff where I think Spider-Man 1, what's gonna happen is their theory is that Norman has been there for a little bit. He's been there for some time, because if you've seen spoiler for post-credit scene for Venom Let There Be Carnage, Venom jumps in when the breaking news happens, and we know that's not when the spell happens. The spell happens much later than that. So if it all goes how people theorize, they're saying Norman's gonna be there the longest out of all the villains. He's gonna have some rep in terms of him understanding what's going on, which makes sense if he's gonna be the big baddie in this one. But I don't know. Did he get saved when the glider impaled him? Like, is that when he's gonna be gone? Maybe he didn't die when the thing. Who knows?
But it's Spider-Man.
I really just don't know.
He's wishing Spider-Man never existed. All right, we don't know if Doctor Strange is going to explain to him about a multiverse, saying if you don't exist, the other ones aren't going to exist. I don't know if that's going to be said. I don't think it is, because when we see one of the recent spoiler trailers, it was like, oh, I don't want Mary Jane to forget. Is it Mary Jane her name? I forgot.
Yeah, no,
Mary
MJ,
Jane, right?
MJ, no.
MJ.
She's Michelle
MJ,
something.
yeah.
Michelle Jones.
Yes, okay, you're right. Yeah,
she's not Mary Jane.
MJ, yeah. Drop the ball there. MJ, he's like, I don't want her to forget who I am. I don't want Ned to forget who I am. And then, like, that's when everything goes to spell. So, like, what if all the Spider-Man got wiped somehow? And then
you know what's funny? I just thought about this right now. You know what the common thread is between at least Octavius and Green Goblin are? We're gonna kind of jump into Spider-Man 2. They all know who Peter is, who Spider-Man is.
Y'all know, yeah. I know who Peter Parker is.
Maybe the botches, all the villains are gonna come in are the ones that know the identity of Peter Parker. Maybe. Who knows? But I think out of all of the most compelling parts to take from this trilogy, stuff from Spider-Man 2. Maybe some stuff from Spider-Man 3. Maybe Sandman just wants to get home to his kid and he's going to do everything to his power, and he doesn't see Tom Holland's Spider-Man as the Spider-Man he knows. But even then, if the leaks are true and Tobey and Andrew are in the shit, shouldn't he have a realization? But
yeah. And then Doc Ock. Okay, so Doc Ock comes. He's already asking, where's my machine?
Yeah, we can all bet that it was when he was falling in the river.
That's what it was.
Maybe we could all maybe say that. Maybe his hair's all a little oily because he just got out the ocean. You've seen it. You've seen it.
Yeah, it could.
Maybe he
It
comes.
could. I mean, if anyone has an understanding of a multiverse, would it be Doc Ock? Someone that would have a better understanding of.
I think he'll have a better understanding of villains. So like he said in a trailer, like, oh, you're fighting ghosts. Like, oh, everyone's died. So he would know about Green Goblin. He would know about
that. Strange or
no. He was. It is also in the trailer how they lined it up. He's the first one that said, you know, you're fighting ghosts. And then
Doc Ock said that.
Yeah. Like I'm pretty somewhere along the lines. He mentioned that you're fighting ghosts. So at least with Norman, he would know that Norman was, or at least Green Goblin, died from Spider-Man. Like that's probably public knowledge in that universe. So, I guess maybe, I don't know. His science was with energy and it wasn't with the quantum stuff. At least from my knowledge in the Raimi, there was nothing quantum, so he wouldn't know about the multiverse. He was a big science guy, but they never talked about multiversal shit in those movies.
They never did, yeah.
Yeah.
Damn. I don't know how he would. I don't know what's the stage. I guess he said when he's falling, he comes in. When Goblin comes in, I mean, I guess they could come in different points. I don't know how Sandman comes in. I feel like he's not gonna have a huge role. I don't know. I feel like it's weird. I mean, Spider-Man 3 was a blur. Like Venom, we're not gonna get that Venom, right? Like we're not gonna get Eddie Brock. Is Eddie Brock gonna come out? Like
no.
Like that.
The only compelling part, and I said it, and it makes sense why Sandman's coming back, is Sandman. But like, I know some people think that glider coming down was James Franco's Goblin. First of all, I don't even think they're gonna introduce James Franco for obvious reasons. Not even related to this. That he did. Yeah. There's that, and two, it
could be a surprise.
But it wouldn't make sense because he was. I mean, even though Goblin Ock was retrieved, like it just wouldn't make sense, and I don't think that would be compelling. But yeah, what are your closing thoughts on the Raimi trilogy?
I like it better than the Amazing Spider-Man.
Really? I'll say that.
Maybe 1 and 2. 1 and 2.
If we were comparing 1 and 2, because Amazing Spider-Man never got a third, so 1 and 2, yes.
1 and 2. I mean,
I think Spider-Man 3 kind of drops the ball in the whole trilogy. But if
they ruined it there.
If you're to watch 2 movies for No Way Home, just watch 1 and 2. Skip 3. Read up about Sandman in that movie. You'd save your.
Yeah.
It just makes no sense.
I mean, we have 2 days, right, before it comes out. I mean, 1 and 2 is what you need to watch, so you need to understand how these guys are. These are, I mean, maybe Electro. I just feel like from what we're seeing, Electro, Goblin, Doc Ock have the most serious roles.
Let's save Electro for the next part, because we're gonna do what, 3
videos?
Yeah. 3 videos.
Yeah. But it's a Sam Raimi trilogy. I mean, it's close to home. It's the first one that came out when Spider-Man first came out. I remember it like it was yesterday. I got out of school early actually to go see it with my dad. I was like, could have been a Thursday. Did they release on Thursdays back then? I know I left school early.
No, they're still doing midnight.
Was it a Friday?
They were still doing midnight.
Okay, so Thursday at midnight, and then Friday I went during school hours. I remember we left school early, and I was just huge on Spider-Man. I think all my birthdays.
I saw that in theaters.
My birthday is in July, so Spider-Man 2 came out I think around July, and that was the theme, and like it hits home to me. But yeah, you got to watch these 2. You need to watch these 2. Like you just can't. I feel like you cannot watch No Way Home without watching Spider-Man 1 and 2.
1 and 2 are going to be the most important out of all these movies. No doubt.
You need to watch it. I think chances are 90% of the people watching this film, maybe 80, have seen it already. I mean, who hasn't seen Spider-Man? Yeah. I mean, it's But yeah, overall, I think it was great. Minus part 3. But overall, we're not gonna talk about real quick. Like I don't give you my predictions on what's gonna happen to Tobey Maguire. I think we spoke about it. Do I say it?
No. I mean, I think I've pivoted a few of these, so I don't think what we talked about before. But yeah, no, I think we should save that for the Tom Holland videos.
Really?
Yeah, we'll save that for the Tom Holland.
I had a little theory. I just don't want to forget it. But I'm not gonna say anything.
You won't forget it.
I'm not gonna say anything, but let's just say Toby never really had like a superhero moment because everybody was always getting bailed out. Maybe he finally gets it at a price.
Maybe. I think he had.
I don't know, man.
I think he had a superhero moment with the train, but yeah, I mean, we'll say what you're about to say. I know what you're gonna say.
I mean, yeah, with the train, yeah, I guess, but like even then, like people helped him, and then.
Yeah,
they did help him in a way. If he would have fell, right? I don't know what would have happened. He almost fell.
He would have fell in the street, and everyone would have knew Peter Parker was Spider-Man.
Okay, yeah. So that's a big thing.
But
no, I hope you guys enjoyed it, man. Real reviews. Shadowninja. His name was JC. We used to work together on FG. We'll probably start in the future and coincide Shadowninja FG. You know, the real review is what we do. Talk about movies.
It's a long one, but it was fun. It was fun.
Yeah, it was cool. No, I enjoyed it. I mean, we knew what we were talking about, so it makes it easy. So, hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like, comment, and sub. Kyle, any Shadowninja? Any
avoid 3. Avoid Spider-Man 3. That's it. That's all I gotta say. Watch 3. Don't even do anything else. Just don't even watch 3.
Look, you know what? Sandman wants to get money to save his sick daughter.
That's it.
Motive.
That's it. And you got some awesome CGI of him transforming to Sandman. That's it. Don't even. If we go even continue this, I can continue this video for 30 more minutes ranting about Spider-Man 3. Let's stop here.
Maybe I'll come out in the future.
Maybe.
Spider-Man 3 rant.
Maybe.
But
yeah.
All right, guys. Hope you enjoy, man. Like, comment, and sub. More to come.